Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Talking about Star Wars.
Stop, we can't afford it. We can't afford it.
And stuff.
we can't pay NBC that money.
No, we can't.
We can't pay Lorne Michaels that money.
I'm fairly certain we're not going to get sued. Anyway, welcome back to the Hateful Geeks. I'm one of your beloved hosts, Phil.
This is nuts, Sweeney.
This really is Andy.
And this is Tim. I don't know if you'd say beloved host.
I know, that's what lost me. You said beloved. I couldn't hold it together.
Hey, we are
Apparently you
beloved.
guys are too embarrassed. Anyway, with me, as usual, is Sweeney, Andy, and the Timster. And this is the biggest week in movie history, at least in our lives, probably.
Well, no, it's for the world. Everybody
For the world, sure. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and this is our official review. And fair warning, this is going to be a spoiler zone. We're not going to go frame by frame and dissect the whole film, but we will be talking about some major plot points. So if you haven't seen the movie, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, and why are you watching a Star Wars episode?
Right.
You should you should watch this episode no matter what. But if you're like on the fence about going to see Star Wars, you were dropped.
We just had this discussion about making your own choices and go see a movie.
Go see it.
I don't know anybody on planet Earth who is not at least like going to see this. But this has been a very controversial Star Wars. Apparently,
Just a little polarizing.
I don't understand why.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Honestly.
So for those of you who have been fans of the show, you guys listen to our episode about the first trailer dissection for Monday Night Football. We had a lot of hopes and dreams. We had a lot of guesses, a lot of things. I re-listened to the episode, and frankly, very few of us were right. I was only right about one tiny thing. I didn't even get the whole thing right. I don't think any of us got anything.
I think we were all
right.
wrong. Like, absolutely.
Tim was like, I don't even know if Tim had a theory, but Sweeney's theories were just outright false.
Absolutely.
There wasn't a single one that was right.
Baby
But Andy and I
Ray.
came close.
it was bad.
Andy. We came pretty close. But the thing that I was right about was Ray. So it turns out this movie, a lot of questions got answered and a whole shit ton got completely dropped on the floor. The one that did get answers, where we finally got the definitive answer: Ray's parents.
What do you mean, Ray's parents?
We know who Ray's parents are now. It has been officially explained to us. They're fucking nobodies.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like,
They are literally nobodies.
They sold her for drinking money.
Yeah.
They sold their kid for beer money.
I'm not gonna.
Hooray, beer!
America.
I was severely let down by that.
Well, you were
Really?
severely let down
I really
because
was.
you had somebody ruin this movie for you.
poor Tim.
And you didn't believe it. But
So my dumbass was on pro wrestling Reddit because I'm a terrible person and I like professional wrestling.
we
I-
told you to go dark.
I didn't think professional squared circle on Reddit. I didn't
Were you
think
checking to
it'd
see who was going
spoil
to be in the next ladder match? Monday.
No, so I got.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something, brother. No, I was on there, and the fake thread was that someone got popped for, like, a big name wrestler got popped for drugs. And in my rage, I don't remember what wrestler it was. So I click on it, and then right in big bold font is just 8 words that spoil pretty much that entire fucking movie for me.
You only have yourself to blame for this.
I
No
mean-
wrestling story is this important.
All right. So
yeah.
I was in the same boat as Tim initially. I was
dark.
I was pissed that the entire buildup, because Lucasfilm and Disney and everyone before even whispers of 8 were in the wind. As soon as The Force Awakens ended, they were like, hey, we've intentionally left Rey's last name off.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
intentionally. So everyone just automatically assumes she's somebody. We know who she is. And
Fooled you.
so I kind of like the whole the
No, I didn't
entire
see you playing with your dolls again, sir.
the entire premise of this was the nobodies are the people that rise up and usually win. They become the heroes, the nobodies. So cool.
Exactly.
I mean,
I get that. But I also get where some people are saying Kylo was definitely leading her into the direction of, yeah, that it's true. Yeah, that's what you're feeling. So she had to have somebody to lean on in that moment. He's trying to get her to join his side. So could it be complete bullshit? I believe
don't
so.
think
Okay,
so.
I
I
mean-
feel that this is one of those situations where he's using the truth to leverage her emotions, which is the best way to do so.
But-
and it makes perfect sense that she's a nobody sold for beer money. She couldn't have been a Kenobi. He was too true to the Jedi code, total celibate monk. He couldn't have been Palpatine. Palpatine died way too early for her to be the daughter.
But
of
in the
Palpatine.
Clone Wars, didn't Kenobi have a love interest?
I've not
Fucking
watched
was a
Clone Wars.
Mandalorian
Can
chick.
we rewind a second? Because you said, like Tim, I was outraged, and I'm still waiting for why you like Tim. Are you outraged?
Because they built it up to where Rey should have been somebody, so I was a little upset.
It-
at
Like,
yeah,
but Tim was
they-
upset about the spoiler.
No, he was
No,
saying
no,
that
I
he
mean,
was upset about
was-
her parentage.
Oh, okay.
I
missed that
I
part.
was upset about both.
Okay.
I was
Watching a
upset
monkey
about
try
I
to
thought we
fuck
were just
a
talking about
flower.
spoilers here.
The whole thing with Rey is that it was just built up for 2 years into that, and it was just
Nothingness?
like I get what they're going with
Well,
it. Nobody's can
I
rise
think
up,
it-
but at the same time, it's just 2 years of build up to like just.
I
letting
think it's
air out of the
plausible,
balloon.
and I think it is plausible that they didn't want to give us everything in this movie, and maybe
I mean,
there
I
is
get-
more
yeah.
to it, and we'll find out in the third.
I
And
mean,
that's what. So I was reading. Is it Ryan?
It's
Ryan.
Ryan
Ryan.
Johnson.
So he was interviewed, and he said, as Luke, the worst thing Luke could hear in Empire Strikes Back was that Vader was his dad. So he said, in this moment, the worst thing Rey could hear for herself was that she was a nobody, that her
Yeah.
parents were nobody. So to him,
Well,
it's legit. But
yeah.
then he said, however, I don't know what JJ and them are going to do in the next episode. So
Right.
Because I'm sure JJ, like he gave them these things, and on that at least I think Ryan kind of.
They don't even have a script for 9. Like 9's
don't.
not
They-
even.
they've
They've been
had
winging it since minute 1.
No, they've had to. No, there's a script for 9. They had to rewrite it since Carrie Fisher died.
Well, that's okay. So
and,
yeah,
and J.J. Abrams has come back to it, so now I'm sure he's rewriting some stuff
Right.
that Colin Trevorrow.
Speaking of Carrie Fisher dying, what the
Can
fuck had happened in the movie?
Can we not jump around real quick?
Yeah.
We're still talking about. Let's talk about Rey real quick. So I'm with Andy on this one. It is an important message of this film, and it's sort of a huge theme throughout the entirety of the film that Rey is nobody.
Right.
The fact that she is not part of one of the big dynasties of the Jedi or Sith is huge. And let's be honest, like this is a very like left-leaning message considering our current political climate, like the all the powers in these specific families, and here's like this person who
This
just
nobody can. Yeah.
this nobody
Yeah.
can be somebody if you just really put your mind
and,
to it.
And I had never heard that interview that Andy just said, so that gives me a new perspective that I kind of like. Of like that's the worst thing that she can
yeah,
hear.
in that
because
moment,
she's
that was the
looking-
worst you could hear.
She's looking for her place in the world, in this battle, and like having a last name like Skywalker, Organa,
Would give her
whatever,
purpose.
would give her
it would
purpose,
already
yeah.
give her like this big pedestal in the
Right,
film.
exactly,
And
exactly.
she doesn't need it right now.
That's the point, though. You're exactly right. She doesn't need to be one of these jerk-offs who have been like Civil War wrecking the galaxy for the better part of a century.
Right.
Like, what if the fucking okay? The cool thing about this film, and a lot of people will fucking burn me at the stake for this, but the coolest thing about this
I'll
film
bring the torches.
is this movie literally says what a lot of fans have been saying for a long time, is that the fucking Skywalkers and the Jedi and the Sith have done absolutely nothing to help the galaxy. And they sure as shit haven't balanced the Force.
Right.
So you know how we talked about before, like the best way to balance is to do it in one? Well, guess what? You know what's more balanced than one? Fucking
Zero.
Yeah.
Which I
Fucking zero.
I like that aspect. Like they literally stayed true when he said the Jedi must die. The last Jedi died.
The Sith
the Sith
officially went
are done.
extinct the second Vader died.
Yeah.
When Vader died, the Sith Order was done. There is no way to become a Sith officially in the canon universe unless another Sith makes you a Sith.
Right.
And that literally can happen from even the Sith Force Ghost. That is possible, but that shit didn't happen. There was no Darth Snoke. It was just fanboy Golden
Yeah, there
Road.
was there is so far no Darth title in any of these films.
Right.
The
And
Sith have been extinct since Return of the Jedi.
and we have
And-
no idea where Snoke even came from.
And you don't get
And we
to
don't get
find
to
out.
find
Yeah, that's
And you might never will.
that's another thing that
That's
I
one
was
of
let
my.
down.
That's one of mine.
So my two issues in the movie with the two things we've talked about just now is they build up Rey to be nothing and they build up Snoke to be nothing.
Well, they built Snoke up to be something, and he ended up being nothing.
Right, exactly. They made Snoke like, oh, he's this all-powerful dark Sith that we've never heard of.
Right.
And
And they
he's-
showed
Sure
it.
as shit wasn't Darth Plagueis.
Right.
Yeah.
But
He
they
sure-
showed that he actually had some.
Oh, he has.
He
powerful.
was pretty impressive because Rey at this point is already like when she touched Anakin's saber in The Force Awakens, that kind of awoken something in her. Like she even said, she
Right.
goes, "There's something in me now.
Mhm.
I don't know how to control this." She's becoming powerful. So when Snoke was able to just, I said, "Come here," and just easily manipulate her and fling stuff around.
Not even that. Like Kylo, we found out Kylo is pretty powerful. Like he stopped a blaster, like laser, right?
Yeah, who the fuck stops a blaster bolt midair?
Right.
I think when Andy and I were in the theater when we saw Force Awakens and he did that shit, we looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck?
So he's powerful. Snoke literally shot down a bolt of lightning and shot him across the room like it was nothing. Like
right on the
gone.
floor too.
Get out of my face.
He like ricocheted off the floor like a fucking bouncy ball. It's like,
he was like, but nope. And he
was like doing like fucking like beer pong tricks and shit with lightning, like ching 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 ching, perf. Nailed it.
But it wasn't Palpatine's.
Now you will die, young Skywalker. No, that shit. I actually like seeing Snoke in the flesh. I was like, okay, this guy's powerful. He's pretty formidable.
Yeah.
And then he literally got killed because Kylo Ren did like the air booty finger.
He did like the Jedi mind trick on him.
Yeah.
He Jedi mind trick.
As Snoke was talking it all out too.
Most anticlimactic Sith death you could ever imagine.
I think Darth Maul is still worse.
No, dude, Darth Maul
had
a
an
huge fight.
amazing
His
battle.
fight was awesome. The fight was amazing. His death,
Yeah,
I was
but
like,
led up to the death,
but
Sweeney.
like-
Your argument's fucking null and
But
void.
Darth Maul wasn't built up as much as Snoke has been.
that's sad.
And I believe Maul was the first character we've also seen split completely. We've seen the loss of limbs. We've never seen somebody just severed
You
in
saw
half.
Snoke cut into like 6 pieces.
I was like,
tongue all out.
I was just like, when Darth Maul died, I was like, he was having such a good battle, and he already defeated the Master. I was like, how is this Padawan gonna take on him? You know, like, come on.
Caught him off guard. He did what Obi-Wan did to Anakin. He's like, I have the fucking high ground. But you know what? That's weird now that you mention it, because Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground in that fight, and he was able to jump over Darth Maul and cut him in half. Why did Anakin not? Wait, how did Anakin not see that?
He underestimated his power.
You underestimate my power.
I do want to say just how awesome that red room, like that red throne room, is.
Oh, that the room.
There's
And
a lot
how,
of people
room-
bitching about that.
how fucking
why?
awesome were the Praetorian
because
guards?
it's not Star Wars.
Oh my god, the Praetorian
fuck
guards were
off.
fucking amazing.
Kidding
They
me?
all, and these are the same people who are sucking Rogue One's dick in an alley
Right.
for quarters. I don't even want to.
Star Wars fans are so fickle. Like they want to move on and like they want to see the future, the bright future, but they're also terrified of what the future holds because it doesn't have the past they love.
Every
right.
hardcore Star Wars fan wants the movie to go the way they imagine.
Right.
And that, I will admit, when I walked out of the theater, the Rey being nobody, the Snoke anticlimactic death, and the death of Luke Skywalker enraged me. I was like, this does not make sense. How can you kill Luke? Who the fuck is Snoke? Rey's a nobody? I turned into a fucking Gungan Emperor. I was so fucking mad.
No, see, I didn't mind Luke dying. I was okay with that because he went out like a fucking badass.
But I stopped myself and I realized the reason I'm upset is not because this movie was bad. It's because I had expectations and hopes as a fan, and
it wasn't what it was.
I wanted to happen didn't happen. I was like an angry, spoiled brat on Christmas who didn't get what he fucking wanted.
I really wanted to see Luke and Kylo battle, like
But you know what?
Full-on
battle.
I kind of got what I needed.
This-
Now
this
that
film
I
was
look
the-
back on it, this needed to be happened.
This film was the full passing of the torch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our Star Wars
It's gone.
is no
Well,
more.
I mean,
The
especially
Sith
after
are dead.
The Sith are dead.
Jedi
The Jedi
are
are
dead.
dead.
I mean,
the
it's-
Skywalker line is pretty much
yeah, I mean,
done.
especially
Pretty
now that
much.
It's not his bloodline. His name is
Yeah.
gone. His
Yeah.
bloodline's not
Yeah,
over.
I
like
mean-
Ben is still floating around, obviously, and
right. I mean, now that Carrie Fisher has passed,
Yeah.
you know, there's no returning character,
Right.
really.
They won't. I mean, they'll just be Kylo.
Well, I mean, from the original trilogy,
right.
yeah.
So what we've literally seen is
Seth.
like the complete. Okay, it's like the end of Lord of the Rings, man. Now we're in the 4th age of Middle
Right.
Earth. This
Right.
is no longer Sith Jedi territory. What will birth from this? Will there be like a new type of? Will Rey start like a new type of Jedi Order? Will it be like what we've all like kind of thought? Like, will the pure balance, like gray Jedi.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, be like the new standard.
yeah.
Who the fuck knows? They can do anything they want now.
Right. So that's the thing I love too, because if you see that final scene with Leia and Rey on the ship, and Leia says, "We have everything we need for the rebellion." You notice she still has the saber,
The broken
saber with one crystal, and then she has the ring that has the second crystal. She's gonna make a fucking dual blade.
That's what we've been
I
saying.
already said this. I told you, you son of bitches. I told you this shit over the weekend. Don't steal my fucking ideas.
I didn't even talk to you.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you through the internet with a force. I swear to God. I told you flat out. She is a staff wheeler. She's been a staff wheeler since we first saw her. She is going to make a brand new lightsaber, and it's going to be a dual bladed blue lightsaber, and it's going to be the tits.
Yep. And she has both crystals now to do it.
I would like to talk about one thing.
You only need one fucking crystal, you fucking charlatan. You don't know shit about Star Wars. I've had enough.
I would like to talk about one thing that that kind of bothers me. No, I mean it kind of bothers me, and I will admit that I need to see it again and get a full view and like not be enraged by having it spoiled for me. But I kind of buy Kylo Ren as a villain less now than
You're not supposed to.
I take it the opposite way.
I bought him more. I bought him as a villain more at the end of 7 than I do now.
I buy him more as a villain now because he finally realized his potential. He didn't need that overlord. He didn't need somebody anymore.
Not only so Snoke is describing as it's happening, he was like, Kylo is mine. I could read his thoughts. I could see everything.
He's going to light the saber.
He's going to turn his saber on his biggest villain, and he's going to strike him down. And Snoke's like, he's going to do it to Rey.
Greatest enemy. He's his greatest enemy.
And boom, done. And then you think, oh, Kylo is now turned. Him and Rey are going to team up. He's even worse now. He's like, fuck the Jedi.
Right. Well,
fuck the Sith. Fuck the New Order.
I
get everything. Join me. We got
I mean, I get it. But here are the two things that kind of bother me is that I understood him killing Han Solo, his father, as this is his no more concerned about going
like struggle within.
No struggle within.
Yeah.
No struggle within. That is his point of going to the dark side. That is
where there was once conflict, there's no now conflict. Resolve.
Right, exactly. There's no conflict. That's his moment of like Anakin killing the young kids in episode 3. Like that's his moment.
Right. Okay.
So why does he have
like
conflict?
A Mace Windu, but
so why does he still have conflict now?
So here's his conflict now: is he wants to do all of these things, but he's being told to do what he doesn't want to do. Well, all he wants to do is rule the galaxy.
Okay.
All he wants to do is hold the First Order above everything else. He doesn't want somebody above him. He wants to rule the fucking galaxy.
I don't fucking agree with that interpretation whatsoever. I think that he is super jaded from waking up in the middle of the night to his uncle holding a goddamn ignited lightsaber over his sleeping body. That would burn anybody. That 1, creepy uncle aspect.
Yeah.
2, gonna kill me aspect. And 3, fuck the Jedi. If this is where they stand, fuck the Jedi.
And I agree.
But the First Order, let me finish. Stop fucking interrupting. You've been doing that a lot. Fuck the First Order too, because Snoke is doing the same thing that Luke did to him. So he doesn't give a shit about either one of these ideals or these people trying to control him. He doesn't even care about keeping the First Order up.
He wants his own
power.
Yeah.
He wants his own thing to build, his own kingdom to grow. He doesn't even want to be Vader anymore. He ended that at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Kylo Ren wants everything in the palm of his hand and nobody handing it to him.
Here's one other thing that bothered me too. I mean, I agree with that interpretation. I think that's pretty much probably that's it. But the other thing that bothered me was in the scene where they're firing all the AT-AT lasers at Luke, and he tells them to fire, and then there's like a second of hesitation, and then that Hawk, what's his name?
Hux.
Thank you. He tells them to fire, and then everyone looks at him and then starts firing. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that.
I think they only did that for comedic relief.
Then that's terrible. That's terrible.
I think that was it. That was the full purpose.
I mean, I get it, but like that just diminishes Kylo Ren after you just did all that with him killing Snoke.
Kylo Ren immediately smashes him against the wall.
Uses the Force
he puts him right back in his place.
But
which is on the floor.
But like they did that like a minute later. That's when he decides to go out.
Right, but still, I mean, that
I don't.
It wasn't that little of a pause. If you watch it again, it was literally like he's like fire the end. Go ahead and fire. It was like immediately after. Like,
But still, just don't do it because everyone just like looks at Hawks.
because
instead of-
Hawks thinks he's still the one in charge. Hawks thinks he's Snoke's like underbelly.
I mean, I get that, but like you just established a Kylo Ren killing Snoke, and then he chokes Hawks
Right.
into submission.
He's a ginger Tarkin.
Like, don't.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
he thinks
I mean,
he's in charge
he
on the
thinks he's in
military
charge.
side. but-
Yeah, I mean,
He thinks he
that-
runs the First Order.
That
Still.
just bothered me, especially after what all they just did with Kylo Ren and building him back up. That
I see what
bothered me.
Tim's saying. Like, where the fuck does Hux have the balls to question him now?
Right.
After he just like
I
proved
think
that
it's-
he's subservient. He's the bottom bitch
Oh
in this
yeah.
equation.
Oh yeah. I think it's just a natural reaction
even-
for Hux at that
yeah,
point.
I mean,
Like, he's
even
like,
with-
"Oh, these are my people. I got to tell
Like
them to do
even
it."
if it's comedic value, then like that's a bad point to do that.
I thought it was
Let's
funny.
talk about comedic value in this film. You know, you guys know how I felt about Thor Ragnarok, but there were some things in this movie that were like, really? Like, okay, like the opening, like she hands Luke the lightsaber, and what does she do, Andy?
He just chucks it,
Dude,
which I loved.
I
it.
loved it.
Of all, yeah, I loved it too. Like
The
of all-
comedy part that I
of-
thought was a little drawn out was when Poe Dameron calls over and wants to talk to Hux, and he was like, "I'll hold."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that was
Okay.
I thought that was-
Is Huxville
once
one
I-
though?
was
I'll hold.
It was a little.
Once I knew why he was doing
Yeah.
it, like I didn't know at first. I thought, okay, this is drawn out. Why is he keep doing it? Why? And then it showed why he was doing it. It was to pause and let
Yeah,
that
like,
thing build up. Like that's what I get it.
Yeah, I would not
But I
have.
almost got that Family Guy feeling where
Yeah.
he falls and hurts himself.
Right.
He's like,
Yeah, no,
They-
I completely.
they kept on going a
That's
little
how
bit.
I was. Like that's how I felt for like
And-
while it was going on until I saw Poe's point of view and what was
Yeah,
loading.
what he was doing.
And I was like, oh,
And-
that makes sense. Now.
And the Luke Skywalker bit with him throwing the lightsaber, I never in a million years would I have guessed like
No.
that's how that scene's gonna
Right.
end.
I was like, oh,
like, all right.
And I think we were
Um,
talking, if my memory serves me correctly, this is the first sequence in the saga where one film picks up exactly where.
Yeah,
There's
Right.
always been a
Exactly.
time
There's
gap
always
in
been-
between.
yeah, because
whether it's like 3 years or 7
Yeah.
years.
I think there's is it a year between A New Hope and Empire, and then 3 years between Empire and Return?
Jedi.
4 years.
Quattro.
Okay, 4 years. Okay,
So you get all this span of time where this one, it's The Force Awakens.
and then it's literally
boom.
right into
like
Last Jedi.
she's still standing there
Like-
holding the
like,
saber.
yeah,
to
like,
him. Hey,
like
take
the
this.
Force Awakens is probably what like 18 hours,
yeah.
or not
If-
Force Awakens. I'm sorry, Last Jedi is like 18-hour time span.
Like
It
so-
seems
yeah,
like
it's
I
very.
kind of feel like maybe like where the Resistance was a different. Okay, so we see where Rey picks up immediately
Yeah.
where Force Awakens, but I think where the Resistance kind of happened, I feel like
they're not
They're
taking place
playing-
at the same time.
exactly. I feel like we're seeing Rey
can see
right
that.
there, and maybe a lot more time passed while Rey was
Because
on
now,
Octo.
yeah, because now that I think about it, like when she's on Octo, that's like 3 or 4 days because there's a couple
I
nights.
feel like it was a little
But
bit
then,
longer
like,
than that, but more shit was happening with the Resistance than it was on
because the
Octo.
whole because I remember like the whole like I remember them saying like the shield can last like 18 or 16 hours or something like that. In the Resistance ship.
the fuel.
Yeah, the fuel. Yeah. Or maybe the shield or
long-
whatever. Yeah.
the first time we've heard about fuel in a Star Wars film.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I was like, really?
Really, they were refueling the Falcon on Tatooine in Episode 4.
This is the first time fuel's been brought up with like
running out.
yeah,
Running out.
You see them
with
just
storyline implications.
skipping across galaxies with never the mention of we're going to need to stop. And
You're not wrong there. They do kind of like use light speed. It's just like we can do it.
So,
Whenever we go.
yeah.
Whee!
this is also
Speaking
a
of
point
light speed, oh my god!
yeah. So
That-
this is a point of contention also. So this is the first time that they've shown that the First Order can now track through hyperspace.
Yeah.
Now that they know where they are, the second you stop, we're right there too. And everybody's
It's like
like,
Battlestar Galactica.
Well, they even said it and that it's new technology.
yeah. However, it was mentioned in Rogue One.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was shown online, subtitled scene where what's her nuts, Urso, Jin,
Jin Ursa.
when she's going through all the different files of the Empire and she's rattling them off, and one of them is hyperspace tracking. So
but
little
that was something they were working on. That
Yeah.
was because that was all experimental technology that they were trying to develop.
Yeah.
So that's a cool throwback.
So there you
Oh,
go.
okay, yeah,
Not
there you
all
go.
technology was blown up on that planet.
Yeah.
not all of
Fuck
it.
Rogue One still, but that's a cool throwback.
No,
or maybe that it got just redeveloped because it's 40 years between.
Yeah,
Right.
it took a long time
Yeah.
for that one.
But my
But so-
light speed story that I liked was the scene where she turns the fucking ship around and goes light speed
No.
right fucking through their entire
Laura
fucking ship.
fucking
Man.
Dern
Oh.
has the
Yeah.
second highest kill count in Star Wars.
Yeah.
The fact that the sound just dropped.
Oh,
No sound.
No
no
sound.
sound.
You just see.
That was a great choice.
Oh
It
my
was awesome.
god.
I was a little bit bummed because I thought, with Carrie Fisher passing away,
Laura Dern.
Leia not being in 9,
Yeah, I thought Laura Dern was going to be that
character
Nope.
that takes up the
Well,
mantle. But I mean, now it's probably going to be Poe Dameron. I would
maybe she's
imagine.
alive. Maybe she got through it.
No, I believe Poe Dameron will be the.
Yeah, I think so. He's gonna be the new
That
leader.
is probably one of them, like from a technical standpoint, one of the coolest scenes in the movie.
That was I
great.
literally sat there, my jaw open, like,
that was a great choice, and just keeping
My
it
theater
silent.
went dead silent, and I looked over at my wife, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Out loud. There was like a 9-year-old behind me. I was like, I probably shouldn't.
I think someone in
But I
our
was like-
theater was like,
I was like nerding the
Oh
fuck
my
out. Like,
God.
this is amazing.
yeah. It was just like dead silent, and we were just like, oh my god, yep,
That's
okay.
all. Yep. Yeah, I mean that was a silent theater for me
Yeah.
too. It's
It
just
was,
like,
it was the no sound was a perfect choice.
Yep.
But
But
good technical excellence.
so
Yeah, it was a good.
they have this
artistic system.
hyperspace tracking now.
Yeah.
And the resistance comes out shortly after Here Comes the First Order. Do you guys think that First Order coming out, that is the entire First Order?
I do. They brought Snoke's they had a dreadnought, they had Snoke's fleet, and the mandate for the First Order was wipe them off the fucking galaxy, just destroy all
See,
of
I
the
don't think
resistance.
it was all of
They
them. I
brought
think
in
Snoke
all of
wanted
their
to be
big
there
guns.
to witness it out of his own ego.
out of his own arrogance.
Yeah, like he wanted to be there. I don't think the entire First Order is there.
I think at
Well,
least the
I mean,
majority of it was.
I think you're right, because when then after that scene, they go to the planet after them. They have a giant, like, they have all the AT-ATs. They have all. So I mean, if all those ships were destroyed, where did they get those from?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm assuming there's somebody else still out there.
Well, that was still on. I mean, not every single ship was destroyed by Laura Dern's amazing like kamikaze game.
Right.
No, just in the
But there-
Snokes.
Just Snoke's was definitely wrecked, and there were other ships that got hit too.
Right.
But there were still Star Destroyers available.
So there could have still
So-
been. I would assume the First Order is not as massive as the Empire was. So I would assume, yeah, they're probably all
You also
there.
need to remember that Starkiller Base was destroyed, and there was a
Right.
shit ton of First Order on Starkiller
Yeah.
Base.
Right. Yeah, it probably is all of them.
So they come out and then they decide to do this little game of cat and mouse of we're just going to stay just out of range to where their blaster hits don't,
Right.
Do
'Cause
anything.
They're faster, but
but we're now running out of gas.
right.
And I hear people bitching online already of, well, why didn't they just come out of hyperspace in front of the rebellion? And I'm like, when you're in hyperspace, to me, this is that's why it takes Han Solo and everyone so long to input where you're going. You're going in a linear line. You want to make sure you're not crashing through anything, but you're not like hanging a left while you're in hyperspace.
You're not
So
wrong.
you're like,
It's like-
up
it's-
here in front of them. Oh, you mean just plow through them and destroy your ship in the process as well?
No, like that's
This-
not how
this
light
is the-
speed works.
This is the most simplistic explanation of faster than light travel, but it's 100% accurate. You don't turn on a dime at that speed, or
Yeah.
you liquefy.
Yeah. So they're like,
It's
oh,
not
why didn't they
physically
get there and
possible.
like go under them or to
Well,
the side and then get in
I
front
mean,
of them? I was like, you are going
they-
at the speed of light.
Yeah, they
And
make
not,
it.
not only that, is space is a gigantic, vacuum, right? So you could be on. There's no like coordinates. Like you could say, I'm gonna go in this corner, but they could be up here. They could
Yeah,
be down
I mean,
here. They could be like, it's like you're just going in the area.
Right. Like they make it a point in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back that input the coordinates.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just
Like there's math behind
that's
that.
just like an area. That doesn't
Right.
mean like they could be in anywhere in this amount of bubble.
I was
Yeah.
like, you're not going to Tokyo drift Snoke's like Star
Right.
Destroyer.
No, I mean,
So I'm just
but
like,
you
people
also need
really
to
what
remember
people
that
are
the
bitching about
galaxy
that,
is
like, yes,
constantly
That's
moving.
the stupidest thing to bitch about. Like what?
Now,
No
one
one's
thing, the one thing I am giving people, which I even said when we came out, was this entire time you're doing this little game of like following them.
Mhm.
How many TIE fighters are on Snoke's ship? You can't just be like, send out 5,000 of them and go barrage that. Not a
They were
single
too-
TIE
they
fighter.
were too far away?
What they were doing? No, what they were saying, and they did mention this, is when Kylo got out. Remember when Kylo and his crew went out and wrecked the one ship? Remember? He said, if you go too far out, we can't protect you. So yes, they could have, but this other ship could fire on them as well, and they can't protect them.
I've never seen Snoke or even
And-
Palpatine having
this was
any problems
And this
with
was Huck's call, not
send them.
Yeah.
This was Huck's call, and I think what Hux wanted was to torture them, to let them think they're like they're a slow death. Like he
It's
never
a-
anticipated anything after that.
It's a naval tactic. For example, like an aircraft carrier. Your planes don't fly too far away from their landing zone for fuel purposes and for protection purposes. Otherwise, they're a sitting duck. I mean, it was like in Top Gun. They weren't able to like go too far away from the ship. There was a dead zone. They were like, if you go too far, you're fucked.
And you can't get back. You can't make it back.
And you can't make it back. You also like don't have the big guns from the ship like laying down suppressing fire.
Right.
Like it's a military tactic, and it's one that is tried and true, at least on Earth.
Yeah,
but
people are trying to nitpick this movie.
Yeah,
like
of course they are.
Okay, in any Star Wars movie ever, has anyone cared about science outside of Neil deGrasse Tyson?
If you like fucking lightsabers, you don't give a shit about science.
Yeah,
right?
When Neil deGrasse Tyson puts out stuff that like goes against the science of Star
Wars,
Wars,
he's the only one.
Fucking movie, man.
Like he's the only one that ever does it.
I love you, but dude, it's a movie,
and nobody's like cared until now. Like, well, when you go through light speed, couldn't they just go a little bit further? Like,
okay. I watch Star Wars movies because I like seeing like space ninjas fight with fucking weapons made of lasers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck off it.
Yeah.
No, this is
it's
definitely
really
being nitpicked.
telekinetic space monks fighting for like good versus evil.
Like people are just gonna bitch about Total Recall. 3 tits. That's not possible.
No, they see 3 boobs. They're like, yay.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah.
But like,
get your ass to Maz.
If you want to nitpick, how about like the first scene? What was it like? Return of the Jedi, when they're chasing the ship and they're shooting after him, the one singular ship that was carrying everything.
You are fucking killing me. Have you watched any of these movies?
I just don't remember which one it was. It was the very opening scene.
A New Hope?
A New Hope?
Was
where they're
New
firing
Hope?
at the Tantive 4?
Yeah. And okay, sorry. And it's just going up. How could they not hit that? They could have hit that easily.
They weren't trying to hit it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, people, it's the same thing. It's the same complaint. Is what I'm saying.
I said across her nose, not up it.
Up it. Like, it's the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, people can complain about that. Like, or just blew it up there. Like, ended everything. My point is, people are just being stupid.
That's what. That's what I
and then
was
you make a
saying,
martyr out of Princess Leia by killing her, and they knew what Vader knew what he was doing. He needed to get the plans back without killing and making a martyr out of the Princess of Alderaan, which hadn't been destroyed yet and was still a part of the Galactic Senate.
Yes. Right. That's just what I'm saying. Like, so people complain about science. Like, it's just dumb. Stop.
Look, man, people will find something to complain about no matter what. You could fucking shower them with $100 bills while they're getting like fucking honey dripped on them and like porn stars surround them. They'll be like, this isn't how I really pictured this.
What?
This $100 bill is too crinkly.
Not crinkly. It's not crisp enough. Like, they will find something to complain about. And there's a fucking petition. And shout out to one of our faithful listeners, Edwin Jackson, for throwing this on our Facebook. There is a goddamn, he gave us a link to a fucking petition where people are asking to erase episode 8 from the Star Wars canon.
So
they didn't even ask to do that for episode 7.
Right. And they haven't asked that to do it for any of the prequels either.
The balls on these fucking unwashed
Episode
nerds.
7 is too much like A New Hope. I don't like it. Episode 8 is nothing like Star Wars. I don't like it.
You hypocritical, neck-bearded, unwashed fuck stains. I've had enough of these people, man. They're giving real geeks a bad name.
Our show this week is we are hating on the haters.
We're hating on the fucking Star Wars fans that don't know how to gather their own ass long enough to actually see what there's like, to actually enjoy the film. The
ones
that's
that
in front
are
of
so
you.
pretentious that they think they somehow own this and that it should go the way that they thought it should have gone.
Like,
dude, of the 4 of us, we grew up with this shit. We have just as much right on loving this shit as these people do.
Dude,
and we can appreciate
own costumes of it.
I have a Boba Fett Predator right over there. Like,
just out of camera view.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's things we complain about, right? Obviously, there's parts of the movies that we're not like, we probably shouldn't have done that. Does it make it a bad movie to remove it from canon? Absolutely not.
No. I think that this leads me to one of the other big themes about this film was so this movie takes a very big step back and looks at the Force from a serious, like, universal perspective.
Yep.
And Luke's choices are highly reflective of his better and more balanced understanding of the Force. You take a look at the Jedi and you take a look at the Sith. They're both kind of religions when you look at it. Like, this Jedi especially is a religion. They deified the Force.
Yeah.
And they have very stringent rules on how you can utilize it or worship it or even be in their little fucking club of celibate and space dorks.
The monks.
And the fucking Sith, man, they're just like, the Force, I worship the Force, but I'm going to use it to subjugate everyone who isn't me. That's still a dick move. So what you have is your hardcore right-wing Christians, and then you got your, like...
I knew you were going to go there. Like,
You're more left leaning.
make
Like
this
you got your
politics.
Westboro Baptist, and then you've got your I love Jesus on Sunday. Like so, but the problem is both these people are fucking delusional.
What I think happened is Luke got a hold of some weed, spent time
on
on that island, and smoked a bunch of reefer, and turned into a Jedi hippie.
With the fish nuns.
Turned into a Jedi hippie.
With the green milk and the
because he literally explains to Rey the best explanation I've ever heard of the Force. Because he says, "What do you see there? What do you see here?" And she describes everything around her. And he says, "What's in between?"
Yeah,
the Force. Everything holds in together is the Force, and like it's literally the best explanation we've ever gotten for the Force.
Snoke has a line that's very similar to that, Sweeney, in the throne room. He says, "The dark rises and the light to meet it."
Right.
So very much they explain flat out that in the Force, there's balance and it meets itself. So if there's light, dark will rise. Light, Jedi, Sith. So the fact that these two factions keep vying and like balancing the scales of power just keeps the fucking galaxy in turmoil.
Right.
Luke flat out makes the decision and says the Sith need to die, the Jedi need to die too.
Right. And
we're done.
And we even get where Luke makes his choice because we know Luke had the potential to go dark, right? We all knew that. He could have been easily.
He was going to kill his fucking nephew.
Right. He could have been easily.
On a gut feeling.
And you saw, well, he knew, because he mentions he already knew Snoke corrupted him. So he already knew that Snoke existed. And he just could look into his mind and see all of the devastation. And he says, I let my dark rise to the point where he was going to kill. And then he stopped himself. It's like a brief moment of his weakness. And unfortunately, Kylo.
He said it passed over him like a shadow, but still was left the consequences of his actions.
Right.
And there's Kylo looking up at his uncle like, dude, are you going to kill me? And then fight. And then he uses the Force to implode his own fucking hut on Luke, which is very smart.
Yeah, he's just like,
good use of the Force. So what we see here is a young boy who's really kind of been like, his destiny was sort of decided for him from birth. And the one person he was supposed to think that he could trust everything with.
Right.
And he hadn't made his decision to join Snoke. Luke made that decision for him by being weak and not trusting or even maybe having a conversation with his nephew.
Right. And that's why Luke went off to this island because he was like, I failed. I forced this. I made this happen.
And Kylo Ren did what he thought was right by... And I think that you guys are thinking of this more like he was going bad or he killed Han Solo because it was supposed to kill like his heart or some shit, make him full dark side. I don't think that's the case. I think that he did this because he considered himself like a deep cover, undercover agent trying to get as close to Snoke as he possibly could so that he could kill him in his own way and balance the Force. I think Kylo Ren is really misunderstood. He's just trying to do shit the way he thinks it should be done.
I think part of that's right. I think that part of that's right. And I think we get an insight to why he killed Han in this one. He says you have to kill the past. So you have to bury everything behind you. There's nothing behind you anymore. It's all in front of you. And that's why he killed Han, is because that attachment would always be there. That weakness, a part of him would always want to like go back and save his parents or do something like that. And we saw that again because he couldn't kill his mom. He could not do it.
He's trying to bring order to the galaxy.
Yeah.
And Dad can't stand in the way.
Right.
And but dude, I'm not gonna lie, it touched me some feels, man, when he couldn't pull the trigger on Leia.
Yeah, absolutely. We all talked about that too. We all were like debating, would he do it? Would somebody else do it? Would something happen?
Couldn't
he couldn't do it.
So my buddy Noah messaged me and he thinks, so this is one of the coolest parts of the movie. I thought, we finally see Leia use the Force.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in shock.
Kylo Ren's wingmen, Kylo couldn't pull the trigger, but his wingmen didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They fire. The whole bridge is blown out and Leia is like freezing in space.
Oh no, Admiral Akbar's dead.
It was a trap.
So I'm sitting here. Oh yeah, fuck Admiral Akbar. He's calamari, buddy, and fried. It's delicious. But no, we see Leia. Like I'm like, this is it, man. They're doing it. They're killing Leia because
that's what I thought.
Nope. She fucking focuses hard and uses the Force to pull herself back in. And they were able to get her out of the fucking vacuum of space, and she survived.
I was like,
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Holy fuck.
So my buddy Noah says to me, he's like, when the fuck did she learn how to use the Force? And I'm like, dude, she's Force sensitive.
She's a Skywalker.
I'm sure, yeah. And Luke probably had to teach her a couple things for self-defense. She's not completely invalid, and she can sense things with the Force.
Right.
Some shit just happens naturally.
Yeah, she's always been able to sense things. She's always been able to sense her brother.
Yeah.
Sense, like, different things of the Force.
She senses Han dying.
So,
right.
his theory was that Kylo Ren gave her a little force push.
What?
Yeah.
No.
No,
He was
we're
gone.
I told him no fucking way.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
see the
Fuck
movie
that.
again tomorrow.
No,
No,
I
I talked to a farmer about it, and his thought or understanding of it was that the actual living force is kind of what woke Carrie up.
Right.
Like, it decided, like, no, it's not
You're not
your
dead.
time, and kind of woke her up and helped her to use her powers to get back into the ship.
And I think if you are force sensitive, you have that ability. Like when you are in danger, your body it takes over. It like literally. Like,
yeah, I think she just said because she has her arm outstretched.
Yeah,
and
and
then
she's like,
so like I think she did it on her own.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that Kylo Ren pushed her.
No, I
or
don't think
the Force is just like, no, you can't. Like an act of an
not
act of
today.
God. Yeah, not
right.
today.
That's how I view it. Is like the force intervened.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. Oh, good. Then I told him that if he was wrong, that he had to turn his lightsaber.
Yep. Turn it back in.
One.
I thought it was an interesting theory, but I just
No,
I
don't.
can't get
Yeah,
behind it.
I think just the way that it was filmed, and the way her body was.
Plus,
I think she just.
I think he was long gone by then. He saw what happened. It happened.
Yeah, he had
and
to
they
have been.
left.
Yeah.
Like there was no like.
Right.
And don't we see her like reach her hand out like specifically?
she actually
like
reaches
to
for
pull
it.
herself?
she reaches her hand out.
Like
But
you,
I think
it
there's
zooms-
a lot of visual
and,
evidence
Yeah, it
to
zooms
support
out
she
her
did it
face,
herself.
and you think she's dead, and then she opens her eye,
And she's
and
kind
she
of
in a
reaches
vacuum.
and she reaches her hand out.
and she's moving towards the ship, Superman style.
Yeah, she's like super floating.
yeah.
that was one of my only issues that I still kind of have an issue with this, because they've always made it a purpose to show that although the Jedi and the Sith are very powerful, they are not immortal. She's in the vacuum of space.
She went into a coma.
She went
Andy.
into a
Well,
coma
so she
for
was
like
very
half the movie.
She was very.
Dude, what happens when you go into the vacuum of space that is what, negative 455 degrees?
I'm gonna
She
go.
was pretty frozen.
I'm gonna
dude.
go. I'm gonna go real quick and say it's a fucking movie.
Science guy. We already talked about this
Force.
shit.
Yeah.
She used a force field.
Yeah, she could have protected herself.
of force.
Yes, that happens all the time.
Suspend your goddamn disbelief. It's fucking Star Wars.
You've seen if you can imagine someone can take their hand like this and things fly away. You can imagine that she put something around herself to protect herself.
So yeah, I know. I'm 100% agree. Yeah, she could use a force field around her body to like maintain the pressure in her body.
Right.
Who gives a shit? Well, I think we're overthinking this.
Yeah.
Tim said it's a movie, suspension of disbelief.
Right.
Don't be one of those people, Andy.
Andy.
We're talking shit about these
Right.
people.
We're gonna hate on you now.
One.
Yeah, fuck you.
One thing I'd like to talk about that we haven't discussed yet is the Yoda cameo.
Yoda.
And I do have one funny story.
Puppet Yoda.
Puppet Yoda, which was even
Yoda.
better.
Yes.
Not CG Yoda.
Not bad CGI Yoda.
I do have a funny story in my theater because the guy 2 seats down was a little bit on the sauce, shall we say?
He was drunk.
He was, yeah,
Skunk.
yeah, and
Three shades of the wind.
to a point where he didn't realize his flash was on when he took a picture of the opening scroll. Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh, Jesus.
So when Yoda shows up, now Yoda coming back was one of the things that I got spoiled on in that
That's too
article.
bad.
So when the camera panned and you see the back of Yoda's head, a lot of people in the theater were like, oh, and except me, who's just like, God damn it, because that was the
Fuck, they were right.
Yeah, because I was like, well, now I know everything, and the guy.
We can find that person and kill them.
The guy leans over and looks at me. He's like, yeah, but it's Yoda. And I was just like, shut up, Drinky Magoo.
Yeah. We'll
I thought
find that
was one of
Reddit
the
man
greatest
and we'll
scenes in the
murder
movie,
him.
Man, I fucking teared up watching that
Yes.
scene.
Yeah.
It was one thing I did not expect it at all. It was out of the blue, completely like, oh my God, it's fucking Yoda. And it's fucking like
was.
sarcastic Yoda. It's like,
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's
It was
Dagobah
crazy. I've been on
Yeah.
Dagobah
It's
too long.
Dagobah
Yoda.
Yoda.
yeah. And he like hits him on the head, like, oh, and he's just like, I'll burn the tree for you, bitch. Like, I got
Yeah.
this shit.
Oh, it was
The
good.
one lesson I teach you forget to teach. Failure. I like when he just points at the fucking sky and lightning hits the tree.
Like the Force Ghost.
I do it
Luke's
for
like,
you.
I'm going to burn it to the ground. Then he hesitates. And
He's
Yoda's
just
like,
like,
come on.
Yeah, he's just like giggling like a drunk old man. Like
He's like kicking his feet like a little toddler.
yeah, like
And he hits him on the head again, like he did on Dagobah, like, meh.
yeah.
But he makes such a valid point. Like, there's nothing in that fucking tree
Well-
that, like, there's wisdom in those books, but
Right.
there's nothing in there
So-
that you need.
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. And in the final scene where Fenn opens the drawer and pulls out a blanket,
Mhm.
You see books.
You see books.
Yeah, she.
So I don't
she
know
took
if she
the books.
stole the books,
I
and
think she
Yoda
stole the books.
knew that, and Yoda was
And
like,
that's why
"That
Yoda
doesn't
said-
fucking matter."
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yoda said she's already got everything she needs from there.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
she took the fucking
She
books.
took the books.
So it was an empty tree already.
and
so
Yoda
just
knew
like,
it. He's like, "Fuck that tree."
So this leads me back. We're coming kind of full circle to like one of these really big things about the Force. So Luke has on this island has decided that no more Jedi, no more Sith. The Force is about true balance, and even Yoda's on board with
Right.
this.
Well,
Like,
even-
Yoda's like, we're done.
Even at one point, Luke, they mentioned Luke gave up trying to contact with the Force. He's like, "I'm done. I'm completely done. I don't
yeah,
want."
she says, I could sense everything. She goes, but I don't sense you.
Right.
And he turned himself off. He was like, nope,
He's like, "I'm not doing it
not
anymore."
home.
The Wi-Fi turned off.
Not
Yeah.
home.
I think that this fact is what pissed a lot of fans off. For a lot of fans, Sith, Jedi, destroying that and like that's like being naked, man, in a field for some Star
Yes.
Wars fans.
Let's get naked. Go to the field.
Let's not.
Oh,
Let's,
Except Sweeney's there.
Yeah.
There's like ticks and
It's just-
everything.
Sweeney's
winter. There's no ticks in the winter.
My point is like this is a very like, uncomfortable feeling for a lot of fans. This is completely new, untread upon ground. And yeah, Rey has the books, but she's of the same opinion about the Jedi that Luke is.
Right.
Like they didn't do anything that really
Yeah.
solved it. In fact, they made Darth Sidious and Vader. They were too blind with their
Which
own
they bring
fucking
up.
comfort.
I
She's
actually
done.
like the idea of just no absolute evil, no
I
absolute
want a
good.
gray Jedi so bad.
Jedis. Yeah,
I
like, I
love
don't-
gray Jedi. Like it's like amazing.
Does that mean we get gray Jedi lightsabers?
Well, that'd be purple.
They're white. They're actually
Oh,
pure
they're white?
white.
I thought
They're
they-
white.
Yeah.
They're purple.
They're gray Jedi use white lightsabers. It's basically blank slate.
Oh, okay.
the absence of
man, I
color.
don't know if they'll do. I don't know. I don't know how white would look.
It
It would look pretty cool. I
white.
mean, in the original
I mean-
The New Hope, they almost looked white.
with a
Blue was sort of an
lightsaber. I
afterthought.
mean, that's,
I mean,
that's just what
so
I mean.
we've all played sweater,
It's
right?
too plain. I
Besides
guess.
you didn't play sweater. They had white lightsabers in the sweater.
They had black
They had black
lightsabers, which made
lightsabers.
no fucking
Those
sense.
are
Oh,
pretty
okay,
fucking
okay.
sweet.
I did. Okay. Well, then I've been proven wrong.
Yeah, it's been done in expanded universe comics,
Okay.
Tim, the white lightsaber. So, I mean, it has precedence. So,
Okay. Yeah. Because like you guys got more into that lore than I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a problem. It was an addiction for a
Nerds,
while.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think she stole the books because I think she eventually wants to bring the Jedi Order back, but her ideal of what it should be.
So
Well, I mean, it's not that, but like if you're like, let's you see the kid at the end that's force sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
with the broom,
like let's say like she gathers them in between 8 and 9. Like it might just be something where like you can
well,
begin
What
to
if she
teach
teaches
them.
balance?
That's what I'm
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. Is what if those books like they don't teach balance, but
'Cause-
maybe they
And that's
help
what
her
Luke even mentioned
teach.
when she was like, I see light, I see dark, I see a tunnel. And he's like, you went into the dark side and you're completely fine. Like it even kind of blew Luke away. Like,
Yeah.
right.
You
Without,
just
well,
looked
without
at-
even without even
Let's look at
hesitation.
Yeah.
let's look like Phil mentioned earlier. Let's look at this as like a religion, right? Jedi, Sith. It's a religion to
Mhm.
each one of their parties, right? What's one of the biggest issues with religion? It's how you interpret it.
Right.
So
Mhm.
these books, how she interprets it, could be a completely different religion than what the Jedi or Sith interpret it as.
Yeah, like I'll go back to using Phil's reference of like, the Joel Osteen,
Westboro Baptist.
Joel Osteen.
Westboro on one side, and you got the far other one on the other end. But like, what if you want the balance of like, I just feel like going to church on Sundays,
Right.
Or every other Sunday, or you know what
even
I mean? Like,
agnostic. I
Right,
agree
yeah,
there
like,
is
whatever.
something, but
Right.
I'm not like
I believe in the 10 Commandments because they're just don't be a dick.
right.
right, yeah.
But no, what Tim's getting on is right. Like the Sith, they use their view of the Force for a purpose. Like they have a goal.
Right.
The Jedi use their view of the Force to attain their vision of how the universe
Right.
should be. That's not what the Force is about. Both sides are guilty of abusing this metaphysical
Don't say it.
power
Don't say
energy.
it.
Yeah.
These poor metachlorians are just being misused.
I knew you were going. No, don't do it.
I just think that like this is Rey who's become who's disenfranchised with both sides. Like you failed. Why would I ever continue this failing
Right.
structure?
Which makes even
Why is this two-party system not working anymore?
Right. Mm.
which makes sense too, even more as to why she feels that way is because she came from nothing. She had no connection to anything before.
So there's another theory about
you and your theories.
about
Yeah.
why her being a
Israel was
nobody
close
may
to
not.
Rey.
So when she herself physically went into the dark side cave on Octo. And they did the real trippy, like snapping, looking around. Yeah, all this delaying. And she goes up to that glass, that whatever it was.
The rock.
And she goes, "Who are my parents? Like, I want to see it." And she sees herself. They're like, is she the virgin born,
like the immaculate child? That
like,
Anakin
is she the one?
No.
Like, Anakin was actually never the one.
Right.
Is it actually Rey?
So
Cave
she's Jesus.
is trying to tell her that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think
All that matters is who you are.
I think what she's trying to seek answers, and the answers are within herself, and that's it.
Right.
Well, I mean, look at this though. I mean, this is another one of these crazy messages they're trying to send. It doesn't matter what your parents believe. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going. So she sees herself, but then she sees like the future versions of herself, and when she snaps, like they all start snapping in like a line.
Your actions
and then,
have reactions.
Her actions have consequences that seep into the future. The cave is she wants to know, who are my parents? The Force is trying to say,
Don't matter.
you're asking the wrong fucking question.
The past doesn't matter. Look forward.
Right.
I don't
What's
think.
going to happen if she finds who her parents are? Let's say her parents are two like super important people. Like she's going to be, well, I should just do right by them and just do whatever they
Right.
thought was a good idea.
Right. And Kylo mentions this too. Kylo is right about this. She says you try to find your parents and everybody, and Han Solo and Luke Skywalker to make them proud. She's like, be yourself.
He's like, stand on your own feet.
stand on your own feet.
Look what Luke did. You're right, Sweeney. Look what Luke did in the original trilogy.
Yep.
He wanted to be his father so bad. He thought his dad was a pilot. He's like, your dad's a Jedi. Well, then I want to be a Jedi.
Right.
Well, that's cool. Your dad's like old ex-buddy. He's going to teach you how to be a Jedi. Oh, he's dead now. It's my father figure. Oh, I want to make Obi-Wan proud and be a Jedi. Now I want to make Yoda proud and be a Jedi.
Yep.
All the Jedi are dicks.
Right.
And now you get episode 8. Luke does not give a fuck about the Jedi anymore.
Luke,
because
I think
he's disenfranchised too.
This is my favorite Luke. This is my favorite Luke. Of all the Lukes.
That's an unpopular
I
opinion.
know.
I agree.
I know.
I like this Luke.
And I will stand on it because we finally get to see Luke just like be a true person, not be, I'm following my father's path. I'm following Obi-Wan's path. I'm following what Yoda tells me to do. He unloads himself and he's just a human and he's just himself.
This is a Luke who's seen some shit.
Yeah. Old Luke.
This is a Luke who's been disenfranchised
And then
with some shit.
he does one of the most badass things I've ever seen a Force user do. Projects himself across the galaxy to fight and interact with Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
To
actually
allow
did
the
not like
resistance to
this.
get away.
fucking God.
He just delayed Kylo.
Like everyone thought he was really there.
Yeah.
And it's just a Force projection of a ghost.
He looked cool. Don't get me wrong, but I thought this was fucking stupid. The only reason I think this was fucking stupid is because I would have much rather Luke gotten off his ass and shown up there and done what he had done and then maybe died naturally. But instead we see him like
I don't think he
force
had the
project
time to
himself.
I don't
there.
think he exactly. He
And light speed. If Rey
his
could
ship
get there,
had been
he could have
underwater
gotten
for
there.
how long?
Yeah.
We don't know how long his X-wing had been underwater.
Which that was a
No.
cool that was a cool visual. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
no,
lie.
he could pull it out, but would it still work? It could have been drowned at that point.
So
No
my Yoda
fuel.
fingers.
Maybe he burned all of his fuel to get there. Had no way off this planet, right? So he's just being taken care of by the fish people and the nuns and whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
the porgs, which serve no
The
fucking
porgs.
purpose.
But yeah, so for me, he literally expended his last living energy to do this.
That's another thing, man. I don't really feel like this is an ability that would have killed him.
I don't know if the
It just
ability itself, I think it took a lot out of him.
Right.
And I think at that moment, he kind of was like, Obi-Wan went out on his own. Yoda went out on his own.
Right.
And I think
This was
Luke
his.
at this point was like, I can't do anything else here in this body.
Right.
I'm going out on my own. And we will get
We'll
Ghost
get,
Luke.
we'll get
We're getting
Nice.
Force Ghost
Plus-
Luke in episode
Plus, it was the
9.
perfect moment because they had the two sons.
Yeah.
Like it had his
Oh,
music.
and they
it
played
was-
that music.
like, it was
that
like
that was perfectly full circle.
yeah,
the feels.
and it was just like I think when Luke saw the sons, he was like, you know what, my time, it's just done.
Still looking off to the horizon, you are. And you know what? No, that was a really emotional scene.
was.
Like my inner 9-year-old was like,
Yeah, because like that scene of like Luke looking out into the into the two sun setting
Yeah.
in episode 4 is that's Luke.
Yeah.
That is.
Yep.
Like
And you
with,
never
that,
imagine,
with that music playing.
and
too.
like we said, we grew up on this. We never imagined Luke dying. Like we just never, you don't really think about that happening. As one of your heroes.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
not what I wanted to. This is one of the things I did not want to happen, which is why I walked out of the theater angry at this movie. And then I kind of realized that just because it's not what I wanted to happen, it needed to happen.
Yeah.
This needs to be. The Jedi and the Sith, their days are done.
Right.
They have fucked the galaxy into the butt for way too long. We got porgs.
Oh, the porgs.
They weren't as annoying as I thought they were going to
I
be.
like the
We
porgs.
just got a lot of dumb
porgs.
shit.
I love
They
Chewie
weren't-
trying to eat the one.
Like when I first saw the porgs, and then like they showed him like one of the porgs like squawking in the trailer, I was like, oh great, more fucking Ewoks.
Right.
Fantastic. But
So-
they
It's like a
weren't.
penguin and a guinea pig.
Right,
yeah. And I thought it would just be like one, like Chewie found one and like took him as a pet. I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of stupid. Why the
Nope.
fuck would Chewie do that? Like he doesn't care about them. But then I
I
realized the
actually
whole
said like Han fucking Solo would be rolling over in his grave if he saw what Chewie did to the Falcon.
Right.
Made it a goddamn porg nest.
right. But then like they were just everywhere on that island. Like just everywhere. And like you said, Chewie was trying to eat one, and they all like stared at him like, "What? That's our no."
He's like, oh.
It's like,
So seeing like Luke, I think one of the so I hate to do a Harry Potter reference, but I'm about to. So in Order of the Phoenix, Sirius Black says to Harry Potter, like the world's not made up of good people and Death Eaters. There's dark and light inside all of us.
Right.
Mhm.
It's our actions that determine who we are. That I feel like is the theme of this whole fucking movie. For Luke, for Rey, for Ren,
Yeah.
for Poe Dameron.
No.
Poe Dameron has a really amazing arc in this film. So Poe is very much like, let's kill him, let's fucking fight back. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging.
Right.
And a lot of people, can understand and respect that position. But everyone's like, no, we got a plan. Don't fuck with the plan. And he even goes so far as to like do a coup. He does a goddamn mutiny on the ship.
Yeah.
And people probably got hurt in the so Poe, even though he's good, he did something fucking wrong.
Right.
He did something.
he did a couple things.
even in the beginning of the movie with them destroying the dreadnought,
The bombers.
the
Yeah.
bombers,
Yeah,
like,
the dreadnought, the
I
bombers.
think that like his unconsciously like lack of like human life, that like because he's like, oh well, we did this, yeah, but a bunch of people
Right.
died.
So like
And
it's
that's
very
what,
Machiavellian.
Yeah, yeah.
The ends justify the
we're like,
means.
we're like Leia's just like, yeah, but look at
How many heroes did we
Right.
lose?
right.
he's
She
so
slapped him.
he's so caught in the moment. Like he's so up in that moment of like,
Right.
I want this to happen.
that
He doesn't think like there's a bigger plan.
there's a and like he's not. There's not a whole lot of respect of like, look at the amount of people who died
Right.
just to
Right.
kill this dreadnought.
And in a sense, that's no better than the Sith because they don't give a
Right.
shit about their troopers like ever. They just
No.
throw more and
No.
more and more.
That's
More-
cannon
more-
fodder.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and then
Look at sorry.
no, and then I was gonna say like his arc of then at the end where it's about saving the people, not having that one last
Right.
stand.
He wants like, I'm going to save everybody. You're not doing enough to save
Right.
everybody.
We're going out the back. We're
Right.
not going to go out there. We're going to let Luke do his job and buy us time.
Right.
That Poe learned from his his
mistakes.
tragic
Oh.
mistake.
Right.
Every character that we love did that in this film.
Yeah.
Rey, she gets into a fight with Luke. She whips out a saber on him.
Yeah.
And he almost like died on those
Mhm.
steps.
Oh, he had the cool like
Rey-
slow fall.
Yeah, he did. He used the force to kind of like cushion his fall a little bit. That was cool. But so like every single character in this film, at some point in time, did something that like very yin and yang. There was
Yeah.
like a little bit of dark in that light, or a little bit of light in
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
dark.
Absolutely. Even
Ren
Luke.
especially, Kylo Ren. Just I've really grown to love this character.
Well, yeah. And when we get this new like force ability where they connect their minds and they're almost like in the same room, like talking to like
Put a
we
shirt
are.
on.
Which was just
Dude, let me tell you about my theater experience, Tim, for this shit.
Okay.
So the mind bridge scene where she's like, I really would rather us not do this right now. And he's like, me either.
Like
and
shirtless
it cuts
and
to
the-
him, like, it cuts the shirtless Adam Driver. I shit you not, my theater was dead quiet except for one chick down on the front row who goes, ooh.
oh.
I looked at Kat and I was like, and she was like, ooh, I see her mouthing. I'm like, you stop that. I was like, but no, fun trivia fact. This is only the second time in a Star Wars film a gentleman is shown topless. The other was Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Anakin Skywalker wakes up in bed from a nightmare with no shirt on. You're welcome.
Luke in the back.
I know you
And-
wanted to
and-
know that.
and thank
Luke
you.
Yeah,
was,
that was
then
Luke
had-
was in the back to tank
yeah,
wearing nothing but a
the little
diaper.
diaper thing.
No, he had the diaper. Oh my God, it's the third time. There's been one half-naked man in every trilogy.
Mind blown.
Thank you for those facts.
Yeah, but I like that whole new power. I heard
Don't
people,
get
I've heard people
uncomfortable,
complain
Tim.
about
What's
that.
I see you hiding your chub. Calm down.
I went from 0 to midnight. What are you talking about?
Nah.
But like, yeah, I've heard people complain about that. Like, no one's ever used that ability before. Like, what the fuck does that matter?
Nobody's ever stopped a fucking blaster bolt in midair
Like,
either.
what does that matter?
Yeah,
no one's used
I
that
have
before.
no issues with the Force revealing that there is.
Well, no, it
more
wasn't.
powers.
It wasn't the Force revealing it. It was Snoke.
Well, no, I
it was
mean, just-
Snoke doing it to them. He was like connecting them over and over again.
Yeah,
That's a cool power. I mean, that's an interesting way to do it. I mean, we saw Luke use force projection, and that's kind of astral projection. I mean, it's not the first time we've heard of something like that. It's cool.
I mean,
not how I would have wanted it to happen, but it looked cool.
I mean, a half hour before, Leia just Supermaned herself back to the ship. Like, who fucking cares? Like,
it's the force.
They can do whatever the fuck it wants. Like the user can use it however they want to use it.
Yeah, again, like I look at those people, just like Jesus Christ.
So,
just
like, get over
suspend your
yourself.
disbelief.
going back to Poe and him setting up this coup, that took us to another new planet, and I completely
Crate.
The salt planet, right?
the casino.
Oh, the casino. Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Which was pointless. The entire like,
And that's
them
what I thought of also. I was like, it looks too clean. It doesn't look like Star Wars. It almost looks prequels like. And they missed one thing. One thing you could have done that would have made that awesome. Who besides Han Solo in the Star Wars saga did we know as a big gambler?
Lando fucking Calrissian.
Oh yeah.
Is he there?
I didn't even
No.
think about that.
Do you know that for sure?
I didn't.
Billy D is not
Yeah,
in
he's
these
not in
movies.
there.
Well, he
Ryan
could have been in the
Johnson said he
background,
did
like,
not.
you know.
So that's what I'm saying. That
Billy D. Williams is like 80 years old.
no,
now.
I wanted
meant
to
a
see an
person
old
representing
Billy D
him.
sitting there like gambling.
But you got that weird little troll thing.
So, but that's what
we
everybody's
got
like.
Justin Thoreau. It's fine.
Everybody's like, this plot, you didn't need it at all because they go there, they completely fail. They meet Benicio del Toro's character DJ, which I actually liked him. He's the
fun.
new scoundrel. You know he'll be back also.
His stutter's
So-
kind of cool.
Everybody's like, they go there, they spend all this time there, they completely fail, they come back, it had no consequences. And then Yoda's theme the entire time to Luke is, even in failure, you either learn something or something comes from it. They went there and they failed except for releasing those children. And at the very end, you now get a force-sensitive child who is no longer in slavery because of their failure.
Right.
Yeah.
And they released little animal things.
Yeah.
That looked like the creatures from The Last Guardian.
That's
Yeah.
what I was talking about. I
They
can
look
really
like
do
the
the
Last
movie.
Guardian.
Thank
You're
you.
wrong. They look like that video game. You're
I
100%
thought
right.
Andy, I was like, I can't. Last Guardian. I don't know. I can't remember the damn movie. I couldn't remember
It
the
was a
game.
game.
I couldn't
Yeah.
remember it. And thank you, Tim.
There's a VR version of it. It's pretty cool.
That VR version looks awesome.
But that's
I
not
bet
the
it
only
does.
thing that happened from that planet, dude. So think of it this way: they went there looking for a code breaker, right?
Mhm.
And they failed in their mission ultimately to destroy the device on the Snoke ship that was tracking them through hyperspace.
Right.
Okay, but the problem is they brought the code breaker who was able to uncloak the escaping resistance people on the shuttles. So if they had failed in their mission on that planet, if Poe had trusted Laura Dern and her plan and hadn't sent them to get the one person who fucked up their escape
Would
plan,
have been fine.
they would have been fine. They
Or
would have
had she
escaped
just
the crate.
told Poe the plan.
Right.
He got demoted. He wasn't a commander anymore. It wasn't his business.
Right.
So what happens when you fucking get a whole like squadron of people killed?
You gotta learn.
Were you on the line when I told Andy and Sweeney the alien who reported Rose and Finn's ship on the beach and then caught them in the casino? Who that
Told
was?
them not to park on the
Yeah.
beach. It's a public beach.
Yeah, do you know who that
guy.
was?
No.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That was JGL. Really?
Yeah.
I told him there's no
Really?
parking down there.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, again,
It's not that you're telling me I don't care. It's the same thing with like Daniel Craig was the stormtrooper in episode 7.
Okay.
Thanks.
well, I mean, that's how I felt when you told me that there's just, shirtless Anakin in episode 3 and shirtless Luke in episode 5.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, cool. That's my moment then.
One shirtless dude per trilogy. Those are the rules of Star Wars.
We met our quota.
But no boobs.
But no.
Oh, we got to keep
boobs.
this PG-13.
Boo. Titanic was PG-13. There was
I was
boobs.
gonna say. Well, we got to keep it classy.
I was gonna say Carrie Fisher in A New Hope. There was no bra. No bras in space.
No
so
bras.
No,
Pretty close.
George Lucas told her that on set.
Yeah.
There is no
There were no
bras
bras
in
in
space.
space. But then you got slave Leia, so
That's true.
you guys need to stop complaining. And there's balance in the Force is reached once again. But yeah, so I think this movie is a huge fucking game changer. It changed the entire aspect of light versus dark. The Jedi and the Sith are gone. It changed the Resistance, or the Rebellion is reborn now, and the Empire and the First Order. This is literally a reset button on the galaxy.
And then you're gonna.
There's no government anymore.
Yeah,
No.
I think that there's going to be a significant time jump between 8 and 9.
I believe so too.
At least 4 years.
I'm calling it. I'm calling that episode 9 will open with Leia's funeral.
I said that Friday night. Don't take my fucking idea from me.
Y'all two motherfuckers sitting on this couch over here are some fucking theory thieves taking on side conversations and throwing them on the... No, Tim, high five through the internet.
It will be her funeral.
Like, I said that Friday night to both of you. So,
I don't even
You didn't say it
remember
to me.
this. No, I don't remember.
When I say both of you, I mean Andy and Phil.
Okay.
Outside of your car, when we
I don't remember that.
I told Andy at his place on Friday night or Thursday in the middle of the night about the double-bladed blue lightsaber. I said that shit. Andy, you know I fucking said that shit.
I agree with you.
I wasn't there for that.
He told you, and then you thought you said it. So it literally was like...
This is the first time we've talked about it.
Okay, well then Phil was there for my theory of Leia.
Phil, why can't we just have...
Oh yeah, I did hear Tim say that.
Why can't we just both have great minds that think alike?
No, because...
Fuck off, it was mine, Sweeney. You don't know. You're not piggybacking this one.
But yeah, I agree there will be a time jump because both sides, they've just kind of obliterated each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So fucked.
Yeah.
The First Order needs to go back and kind of be like, all right, rebuild some of our shit up, and the Resistance has to be like, oh, where are we even going to go?
Right.
Who's going to even accept the First Order as a galactic government? They don't have enough fucking ships to take over what's left of Alderaan.
Right.
Yeah.
Which ain't shit.
I'm a little sad about that because I like the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah. I think
they're fun. That shout out to that scene. Best fight scene in all 8 movies.
People are asking where are the Knights of Ren, and some were saying, "Oh, I bet the Knights of Ren were those guards." I'm like,
they could be,
could have been, but it should have been said then.
Yeah.
So until I see otherwise,
but
they're not the Knights.
I don't
of Ren.
think so because Kylo turned on them, so I don't feel like he would turn on his own knights.
Yeah, I felt like if it was the Knights of Ren, they would have probably had his.
Yeah, they would not have
Snoke.
fought him. I think those were Snoke's guards.
Yeah.
Luke said what? There was like a dozen Force sensitives he took to his school.
Yeah.
Including his nephew.
Yeah.
And most of them that his nephew killed, but some went to his side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they said like an exact number. I think it was just an arbitrary sum.
He said I think the word dozen was used, but once again, I'll see
just
it tomorrow.
right.
something from
They
the Force Awakens that I would have liked to have seen a little more of.
I remember hearing a dozen, but I didn't remember hearing like all 12 of them went with him. You know, that's what I was trying. That's what I was trying to say.
6.
That's what I was trying to say.
So yeah, but that feels right. That fight scene when you have Kylo and Rey back to back fighting these guards who are obviously extremely well fucking trained. I don't know what the fuck they're using weapon wise, but they're fucking amazing. It's badass.
Dude, I said back to back, and the theater's like back to back.
And then she throws the saber to him. He's like,
boom.
Yeah.
The fucking weapons, like they had a fucking like blade whip.
Yeah.
They had like dual axes.
And the blade,
they had one guy with a big ass sword.
The blade whip actually went through the lightsaber and grabbed a hold of the lightsaber.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I could watch that scene on repeat. Like that was amazeballs. And the fact that they were like fighting together, like we finally saw like a Sith and a Jedi, like kind of like joining forces.
Anybody out there listening, I want that scene with the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. Oh, that would be perfect.
Mortal Kombat.
Let's get on YouTube and make that right now.
So,
Sonya Blade.
I believe overall,
Goro.
Every one of us actually enjoyed the film.
I said, I had mixed feelings when I walked out of the theater, but then I kind of I checked my privilege for a moment.
There is one death that I'm not happy about. It's Phasma. Because, like, why?
Didn't see a body,
You didn't see her body.
She fell into a burning pit.
She fell into a trash
She's wearing
compactor
armor
in the first Force
Yeah.
Awakens, apparently.
Yeah, but
Put her in the trash
On
compactor.
Starkiller base.
Yeah.
this is a
which blew up.
This is a burning pit, and her mask was torn open. So if she comes back, she's gonna have some serious
Maybe
scars.
she has
Oh,
a
yeah.
burned eye.
She has some serious scars.
Yeah.
She'll look like Deadpool.
But yeah, that was the
Sweeney's right. She's probably dead.
that was the one thing I was like kind of dumb. Like they put this in the preview of this epic battle between Finn and Phasma,
That's all it was for, was to give Finn a battle.
and it was like literally like a minute. It wasn't even a minute. It was like 10 seconds, and then like he falls down, rises up, and says, "Hey there!" Like
You gotta give props to Finn, man, because that was a fucking he kicked some ass in that fight.
oh yeah, he got the little like I don't know what that thing's called, but like
he
flips
flips the
around.
executioner's
Yeah.
laser sword.
Like flips
axe
around,
thing.
like so yeah, it's cool.
Traitor.
Right.
I like that battle. I just don't like how it ended. I was like, you could have like just made it, you know.
I feel like Phasma is one of the most underdeveloped characters in these movies, so I didn't really give a fuck about
P.S.
her dying.
If you play Battlefront 2, she's awesome in the game.
I mean,
Yeah, I've heard some really
Oh,
shitty
it's
things
bad.
about Battlefront.
Oh, it's
2,
terrible,
They-
but she's
and
fun
I
in the
will
game.
not be paying money for
they
Yeah,
it.
she's fun.
decided to flesh out her story in a Marvel comic miniseries. Man, that quieted the room.
That's
Man.
how a room dies.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
God damn it, Disney.
Now go
I
buy
didn't-
the
I
comic,
didn't-
and then you
yeah.
can have a character that you care
That's what I was
about.
gonna say. Like, I didn't mean to kill the room. I was just saying, like, that's what they
That's
decided
so
to do with it.
stupid.
I'm not saying that was a good thing. I was just saying
Yeah.
that's what they decided to do with it.
Yeah, no,
All
I'm not
right.
going to do that.
Is this a perfect movie?
No.
Is it the best Star Wars movie? It's probably top 3 for me.
For me, yeah.
Easily. I'd say it's like, I don't know. A lot of people are like, this movie was better than Empire. I'm like, slow your
No.
fucking
No,
roll.
no, no, no,
Like,
no,
I-
no, 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 no.
Like, I
I
need to
still
go,
have the original trilogy.
yeah.
No,
but- Both
This is
the
better
For-
than A New Hope.
both The Force Awakens and Last Jedi are light years ahead of the prequels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to,
I thought these movies were better than Jedi.
yeah, I need to see it again because I need to like separate my anger from getting spoiled.
Right.
And actually enjoy the movie. But like I'd probably do Empire right now, Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi.
Empire,
Mhm.
Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and then whatever the fuck. Return of the Jedi, and then the rest
Well,
of
I
the
mean,
shit.
See,
was
I
just
still
saying
have A
my
New
top
Hope
three,
ahead
yeah.
of
So,
even The Force
I
Awakens.
I like A New Hope, but I don't.
Fall asleep,
No,
I
New
can't do
Hope
it.
is not in my top 3. It's not.
Me
Empire.
either.
Empire is, and
Yeah.
and.
I mean,
Man,
I'd probably-
I don't know if I
I'd
can put it above Return. I don't know if I can.
I'd probably put New Hope at number 4 and Return
But
at 5.
I have such an attachment to Return because it's like a
Yeah.
kid, like
Mhm.
and the kid in me is attached
Right.
to it, so it's hard.
Ewoks.
Well, yeah, I know, and it's not my reasoning is not what most people will be like. Oh, it's a great movie. For me, it's like my childhood's attached to that movie. Like growing up, I put that movie in over and over and over again.
Oh, I still have Jedi way up there because, true, there are Ewoks and it knocks it down a few pegs. But you got Jabba's palace and you got the end fight.
Yeah,
Those
Boba Fett.
so great.
yeah,
What a fucking tool.
yeah. Boba Fett, most overrated. You know,
Not a good bounty hunter, but we've gone over that before. I don't want to rehash that
Absolutely.
argument. There are in Porgs, so Last Jedi is not a perfect movie. I mean,
Yeah.
they've always got this like,
but I'll say
let's
this
make a
about the
furry little
Porgs.
Pokemon creature that you can love.
Like everyone hates Ewoks, and I get it, right? Because they were like fucking taking on, you know, stormtroopers, you know, like they were badasses. Which
they're using rocks and fucking
Right.
sticks to take down an intergalactic army.
right, which is kind of like unbelievable, right? But on the other hand,
It
Ewoks
is
are kind of bad because
unbelievable.
they eat people, so they're kind
George
of cool.
Lucas needs needed that toy money.
But the Porgs, they did not infiltrate this movie. It wasn't like they had
Yeah.
any impact whatsoever to the outcome of this movie. And so I'm okay with Porgs.
So I believe the Porgs had more scenes though than R2D2,
And Yoda.
than 3PO. And
Well, good,
Chewie
'cause
was
3PO
in
talks too
yeah,
damn
'cause-
much.
and Chewie was in 2 scenes.
Yeah. Well,
So this was literally just
the end.
goodbye old.
But you do get some great throwbacks.
This is the passing of the torch. You're
It
right.
is.
And more importantly, we had we have an official canon reveal in this film. Luke Skywalker confirms 100% that R2D2 swears like a sailor.
Yeah.
He does.
He tells him to stop swearing.
Yep. Well, we do get those great moments though. You get Luke back with R2. He finds R2 again. You get Luke.
Oh, that was cheap.
You get Luke back in the Millennium Falcon. You
Yeah.
get Luke reunited with Chewie. Chewie breaks down his fucking door.
Right.
And then he's like, "Where's
Did
Han?"
you guys notice in that scene did you guys notice in that scene when Luke is like on the Falcon, he's sitting in the same location after Obi-Wan dies, like where he was mourning Obi-Wan's loss and Leia puts a blanket on him, same fucking chair.
Yep.
Huh.
And then the R2 beeps up.
I didn't know that part.
And then R2 plays a little
Nerds.
scene from
Yeah.
That was low.
that was low.
Like, why would I help her?
Hello.
her sister act?
Yeah. God damn it, R2.
Oh,
Stop being right.
there's R2 basically saying, "You're the new Obi-Wan, bitch."
So,
He probably said that to him. It was like, beep, blorp, bloop, bloop.
You Obi-Wan, fucker.
so
Just deal with
overall, I think we all enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, and I do. I want to
I
see it
lo-
a
I
second
liked it.
time.
Yeah.
I've heard several people say it's better the second time.
So
it. There were, like I said, there were things about this movie that were shocking. I was shocked, and I had to come out of my shock
Right.
to realize what the goal of this film was. And I'm excited, man, because this means that like where they go, nobody knows.
Yep.
It could
We
be
had no attachments.
anything. But I hope Tim's right. I'd love a nice time skip. Rey's powers grown a little bit.
I think that they'll explain that how Leia died in the opening crawl, and then we'll see her funeral, and then go from there.
Cool.
Episode 9, the last Jedi.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Leia-
This time. No spoilers.
Leia blew a fucking gasket on the toilet.
Oh.
I think the working title, like this isn't gonna be the title of episode 9, but I guess like the working title is like Black Diamond or something like that.
Yeah, Black Diamond.
Cocaine kills Jedi.
Or, yeah. Jesus.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Too soon.
Too
Right?
soon.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Fuck
All
your
right,
couch,
but yes,
Jedi.
go see this movie.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
How have you not seen this movie?
Well, I'm just saying, anybody wants to challenge, and any listener wants to come and challenge us on this, please step up. Because we'll just show you how little-minded you are about the Star Wars franchise.
Show us.
I don't think
show
it's
us that
about
you've
little.
signed-
I feel like people just have very rose-tinted glasses and don't want to let
Yeah.
go of what they loved about Star Wars. But the cool thing about this is unlike other Star properties, this is going to grow and it's going to evolve and change.
Yeah.
And Andy's right. This is a passing of the torch to a new
And
generation.
there's so much more in this universe out there that
I
we have
think
not
we
seen.
will get an episode 10, 11, 12.
Sure.
Oh,
It's Disney.
Yeah, I
They're
hope
going to make
so.
that
They're
money,
going
bro.
to keep making it.
It's going to make over $1 billion. They're
Make that
gonna
money.
it.
Make that money.
how much did they spend? How much did they pay George Lucas for this again?
$4 billion.
$4 billion.
Just four-
And they've already
really?
made that back.
$4 billion.
Yeah.
How close they are to making that money back,
I think
Tim?
they-
Oh,
made
I
it.
mean, pretty close.
Get your calculator
I
out.
mean, what Force Awakens alone made
One.
1.5,
Yeah.
1.6.
So,
Like-
from a financial standpoint, they have to keep making movies till they at least make
Yeah,
some
I
kind
mean,
of
Rogue
profit.
One
I mean,
made the
Rogue
money.
One. Rogue One made.
Solo's going to make the
I
money.
think Rogue One cracked $1 billion.
Yep, it did.
Oh
It was
shit!
like
Really?
1.4.
Yeah.
Fucking see, this is what I'm talking about. There's so many fucking like rose-tinted glasses fans that loved Rogue One, which is a shitty film. It's not a good movie.
I liked it.
And
I
now they're
liked
gonna
it.
take a dump. All right, fucking Charlotte. and now they're gonna take a dump on Last Jedi because
I mean, one of the side movies will be the one that'll be like, oh, and
It's gonna be Solo.
The sad thing is, like Solo or Obi-Wan, and the sad thing is that movie's gonna make like $900 million and still be looked at as a failure somehow.
Well, see, I would like to see an Obi-Wan movie because there's a giant fucking
That's what they're.
gap.
That's the next.
That's what I'm
it's-
saying.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Solo Episode 9, Obi-Wan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll take an Obi-Wan movie. I don't need a fucking Han Solo movie. We already talked
Because-
about that. Like,
Because Ewan McGregor will
I'm
be
taking Obi-Wan.
Ewan
movie.
McGregor will be old enough
to
that,
be like old aged.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like I guarantee you they'll try to get.
So is it
Ewan
going to be
McGregor come
Obi-Wan
back.
just like
It'll be
being a
Obi-Wan.
peeping Tom on Tatooine? Just
It'll be.
checking
I
in on
imagine.
Luke.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be I imagine it'll be Obi-Wan between 3 and 4, and Ewan McGregor will be old enough that they can probably talk him into coming back.
I'd watch that movie. That is a standalone film I would watch. I would watch the Obi-Wan
we don't know
movie.
what
Han
happened.
Solo movie, we don't need that shit.
We never got that whole story. Like
Mhm.
after he, left, and then when he got killed, we
Right.
tell you what.
So
So, Hateful Geeks, 4 of us, all really love Last Jedi. And the people making this fucking petition, well,
Fuck
you're
yourselves.
idiots.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
sorry,
idiots.
idiots.
morons.
You're literally signing a list that shows what a douchebag you are. And you will never get this movie erased from canon. Sorry, it's an official film. It's canon. It's got a crawl.
If-
It's got John Williams' score. It's got lightsabers.
If Star
You're
Wars
fucked.
Rebels is canon, this is canon.
Yeah, Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
bro. If you
Clone Wars.
like Rebels and Clone Wars,
Yeah.
then you don't like this movie, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah.
You are just not a good person. You know who I'm talking about. Don't even lie. So yeah, if you if you haven't already, you need to see this movie. If you've seen it already and you were kind of on the fence about it, I mean, I think that this is a great start to a brand new galaxy far, far
I'm
away.
excited.
December 20th, 2019.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for us. So make sure you come find us on any of the way places you get podcasts. So YouTube, YouTube's YouTube, but iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, get your podcast. You also can find us on YouTube and on Facebook to watch this beautiful video and see us in person.
Find us.
Instagram, Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter. Hit us up, comment. Let us know if you liked it. Let us know if you loved it. Let us know if you hated it. But until next time, this is the Hateful Geeks, and I'm Sweeney.
I'm Phil.
I'm Andy.
And this is Tim.
And may the force
be with you.
Yes!
Always.
Got him.
May the Schwartz be with you. His Schwartz is
I
big
see
as
your
mine.
Schwartz is as big as mine. Get out of my fucking head, you fucking thief. I hate you.